Hello, good evening, and welcome to Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. We'll remember today is day number 14 in the month of January, the year 2024. Remember, the show is also proudly brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, GOIL PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. The show is proudly powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA, and our media partner on this journey of a lifetime, is the Business and Financial Times, the BNFT. If you want to have a grasp of all that transpired on the show tonight, make a date and grab the Thursday edition of the BNFT, and you'll be able to see all that happened here on the show tonight. We are streaming live on our social media pages. On Facebook, we are live at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Still on Facebook, we are streaming live at Port of Tema. And on YouTube, we are live at Iron Port Ghana. We shall be getting interactive with you as usual, and all you have to do is sit back, relax, grab your phones, and then send us messages and comments via our dedicated WhatsApp line, which is 0559019177, 0559019177. When time is ripe and I pick signals from the production team, as usual, we shall activate the phone lines for you to call in and contribute to the discussion. My name is Kennedy Mona. Thank you for choosing us, and we shall be back right after this break. Please stay.
Guys, now I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really? Okay, I dey come.
Shut up!
Mame, fill me tank na mwati. Boss, fill my tank with Super XP Euro 95.
Blow up with Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from GOIL.
Sorry, Tony got here first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him. Hey, go for mami.
Choose Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for GOIL Super XP Ron 95. GOIL, good energy.
GOIL is good energy. Electricity, pay your taxes. Yeah, our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse, and my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Currently, my goods are on the high seas covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance
for the project, and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
All right, so it's now time for us to take a look at happenings in the port and shipping industry in the course of the week. During the week, the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders gave hard calls to outdoor their new executives. They have elected new executives and they've been sworn into office and they took over from the previous ones. We'll tell you who they are and what their mandate will be going for. The fact that the Tema collection of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority also, on Friday held their annual get-together. They said they have met their target. That's for 2023. The Ghana Revenue Authority, we are told, was able to marshal some 109 billion Ghana cedis, and the Tema collection alone was able to mobilize about 24.4 billion Ghana cedis. They fell short of 1.2 billion because their target actually was 25.6 billion. And so they had cause to rejoice, give thanks to God, and then, take, some lessons from 2023 and going forward, what they expect to do in order to achieve their targets for the year. Let's take a look at these stories and more.
11 new elected members of the National Executive Council of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders have been sworn into office. The ceremony held at the GIFF Conference Hall in Tema was also used to sign and adopt the new GIFF Constitution. Stephen Adjokache is the new president of GIFF, whereas Alexis Siama, Regina Boateng, and John Edu Jack are the first vice president, second vice president, and treasurer, respectively. Outgoing president of GIFF, Eddie Akron, urged the new executives to work with passion as they guide the institution to higher heights.
As I hand over the reins to the incoming administration, I am confident that the institute is in capable hands. I trust that the incoming leadership will build upon the foundation we have laid, taking the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders to even greater heights.
His successor, Stephen Adjokache, promised to bring his vast experience and vision to bear as he takes up the mantle.
In the spirit of unity and shared vision, I pledge to uphold the values that define our institute. As we embark on this journey together, I am confident that with your support, we will not only meet but exceed the expectations set before us.
Tema is considered a breadbasket for revenue collection so far as the work of customs is concerned, as the Tema collection is responsible for an estimated 80% of customs revenue. Despite a year characterized by lower import volumes, customs were only short of attaining the set 25.6 billion cedi revenue target by 1.2 billion. Following a difficult year, the staff and management of the Tema collection of customs have met to unwind and reflect on the year 2023. The customs officials were treated to live music by the dynamic Adaha Dance Band. The Tema Sector Commander, Christiana Odieje, appreciated the yeoman's job her staff did in the year 2023 while spurring them on for more.
Most of us worked far into the night. We appreciate what you did and continue to do. We value it and we are very grateful. Thank you all. I believe we can count on you, your utmost dedication, inspiration, and professionalism to higher laurels.
Deputy Commissioner in charge of operations, Emmanuel Hene, challenged the staff of the Tema collection to answer the call to duty in the year 2024.
By the grace of God, 2023 has come and gone. The GRA was able to achieve its target. And what it means is that in the year 2024, Tema, which is the breadbasket of the Customs Division, so much will be expected from us. And we have every confidence in the management and staff of this collection that the GRA will not be let down.
Stakeholders present shared some goodwill messages.
We have worked with customs from the transition time during the project up until today, and we continue to invest in technology just for customs to be able to do their work. At MPS, we dress up from home and come to work because customs has to work. We shall continue together with ICOMS to improve on all the processes just to make sure that we conform to what you require from customs.
Paying tax is not easy, especially when it's coming from your pocket. And knowing the difficulties, the challenges that 2023 went through, all of us collectively, and proud they were able to meet target. I think it comes from these men and women standing before you here. And so we are in your suits to celebrate with you. And we only hope and pray that 2024 will be even more than, you will exceed more than what you did in 2023.
Those were some happenings in the port and shipping industry during the week. It's now time for the word or phrase of the day. And remember, the word or phrase of the day has been fashioned to bring you up to speed with the terminologies and jargons we use in the shipping industry. Today's word is P&I Club. P&I Club.
A protection and indemnity or P&I club is a non-governmental, non-profitable, mutual or cooperative association of marine insurance providers to its members, which consist of ship owners, operators, charterers, and seafarers under the member companies. A P&I club's role is to support seafarers' safety and well-being by providing the required necessities.
All right, so tonight we are taking a look at the contribution of freight forwarders to effective trade facilitation, what the role of freight forwarders is. We'll also take a look at the performance of the industry, the freight forwarding industry for the year 2023, and what the expectations for 2024 is. So basically tonight, that's what we're taking a look at. We're just having a discussion with some freight forwarders, seasoned ones, of course, the executives in their respective associations as far as the freight forwarding fraternity is concerned. It gives me pleasure to introduce to us tonight Mr. Yao Che, who's no stranger to Iron Port. He's the president of the Association of Customs House Agents Ghana, ACHAG. Good evening, Wafa, and welcome.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. And also in the studios is Nana Fredria Ajmai Ofreata, who is also the president of the Customs Brokers Association of Ghana, QBAG. He is also the executive secretary. You are still the executive secretary of the Committee of Freight Forwarder Associations Ghana? Council, okay, right. Thank you very much indeed for coming, sir.
Thank you.
So let me begin with Mr. Yao Che and find out from you if you can tell us what the responsibilities of a freight forwarder is in the context of, trade facilitation.
Thank you very much. The freight forwarder, to put it in very simple terms, is the organization or the person who sees to it that a consignment is lifted from one point to the other. Let me go down again. For example, we have a manufacturer or an importer has a consignment sitting somewhere in London. It's manufactured.
Right.
Now, he pays for it, and he orders you that, yes, this is my invoice. Please collect these items and bring them to Kumasi, to this particular factory or to this particular warehouse on my behalf.
Yes.
Now, the freight forwarder's job is to see to it that, one, the consignment is lifted from the manufacturer's site, probably warehoused, and depending on the terms of agreement, it has to be insured. He has to do it.
Yeah.
Now, when he takes it to the warehouse, then he looks out for a shipping line,
right,
or how to ship the consignment from the warehouse to Tema.
Right.
So he engages the shipping line, agrees on the terms of conditions with them, the payment and all that. Now, then the goods are transported to the port to be loaded.
Right.
When the consignment is loaded, he still tracks the vessel till it gets to maybe Tema. Now, at Tema 2, he sees to it that the documentations are properly done with customs and other related stakeholders. Consignment is cleared from the Tema port and transported to the customer's warehouse in Kumasi. In very simple terms, that is what the freight forwarder does.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So he sees to it that your consignment after purchase is simply brought down to your doorstep in Kumasi for you.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So let's take a look at 2023 in retrospect. How did the industry fare for you?
2023 was quite a difficult year, I must confess. It was quite a difficult year when you term it against our clients not doing too well.
Right.
How they are getting on directly affects our job. How many containers is Kwame bringing in directly affects how many containers a freight forwarding company would deliver.
Right.
So there's a direct relationship. And the economy of the country too, definitely. We all know that things are not going, you have some challenges in the country, and therefore, even if they bring the consignments, they claim that these goods are not readily purchased.
Yes.
Therefore, there's temptation for them to reduce the number of containers, the number of goods that they bring down. So, in very simple terms, again, we didn't do too well. We didn't do too well. And there are some even freight forwarding companies who were, quote unquote, forced to close down.
Wow.
Some of them have also they changed the terms of conditions of employment with the employees. Let's do contract basis.
Right.
When there's a job, I'll call you. If there's no job, please stay wherever you are.
Wow.
Don't bother yourself transporting yourself from Kasua to Tema. You come nothing doing and you have to go back. So let's agree. Stay wherever you are. If there are jobs, I'll call you to come.
That happened in 2023.
Oh, yes, it did. It did. And we're still lingering on even 2024. We haven't finished these problems. And incidentally, Tema freight forwarding industry is also a very large source of recruitment for those who move on from the senior high school or even from the university or looking for employment. So there's a crash. Almost every day you have letters seeking employment in these places. So we also not doing too well. The freight forwarding industry in 2023 didn't do too well at all. At all.
So it means you are alluding to the fact that because the Customs Commissioner did make mention when they were having this award ceremony at the MPS, the Authority building at the MPS recently, that because of the general conditions in the country and the low imports, that accounted for the shortfall of 1.2 billion that they were supposed to collect, because the actual target was supposed to be 5.6 billion. They ended up collecting 2.4 billion.
Yeah.
You know, and 24.4 billion.
Yes.
And so it's kind of like, okay, because the imports didn't come in as we expected, that was how come. So that means that it affected your industry.
It directly affected us. Yeah, that even tells you that we are suffering. Things are not too well for us at all. Things are not too well. So those who are able to clear about 10 containers, now you get to them maybe 2 containers for the whole month.
Wow.
And you know, the multiply effect on their staff members, on their families, and our sources of, and where we pay our taxes and all that. I mean, all these avenues will also be affected.
I will come back to you and I find out from whether you see glimpses of hope in 2024. But let me come to Mr. Freddie Ajimai Ofriata and find out from you if you can give us draw the dichotomy between who a freight forwarder is, who a customs house broker is, and who a customs house agent is. These are 3 different things. I don't know whether they mean the same thing or they have some difference.
Well, thank you once again for the opportunity. Let me say good evening to my members.
Awesome, yes.
Yes.
Right.
We just came back from our AGM in December, and
yes.
We haven't had an opportunity to have a discussion.
Absolutely.
But my regards to all.
Sure.
Like my senior of Ache has already alluded to, 2023 has been a difficult year. But directly to your question,
Yes.
talking about the differences between a freight forwarder, a
Customs house agent and a customs house broker, yeah, sure.
Well, the last bit, I'll take it from the bottom. The last bit, an agent and a broker, these are semantics between the US and the UK. So an agent is a broker.
Okay.
Yeah. But the difference between a freight forwarder is essentially one who receives, goods on behalf of a customer and then delivers it from one point to the other.
Right.
That's the forwarder. But when it comes to the customs house agent or customs house broker,
yes,
is the one who's actually licensed. He has to first get a license from in the case of Ghana, is the Ghana Revenue Authority Customs Division. He has to get a license which is renewed annually.
Yes.
To be able to undertake the business of taking delivery of goods on behalf of their importer or client or shipper. So that's about the difference. The CHA is licensed because our job essentially is to mobilize taxes and duties and pay it into government chest on behalf of the shipper.
Right.
Freight forwarding can encompass, customs house agency.
Right.
Because theirs is to make sure the ship goods or the goods goes. But the CHA's functions is a bit restricted towards a customs station or a customs area.
Right.
Anything they do is related to the customs.
Right.
But freight forwarder can be outside of the customs station or the customs area.
Right.
That essentially is the difference.
Mm.
They are not licensed. It's a business that once you set up the logistics business, you can go into freight forwarding.
Awesome.
But you don't have the opportunity to pass declarations and things like that. Those are regulated areas. So you then need a license.
All right, so I asked him the question, and that was even the first thing you mentioned before you came to the substantive question that I asked you, and that has to do with the fact that how you view 2023, whether it was the same with you, was it a good year for you, or you think that you also reeled under the challenges economically?
Well, we are in the same industry. Yes, it has been a tough year. God has been good to us. We've gone through, but it has been a very tough year. I've been in industry for a while, I think, since the 90s.
Right.
And it doesn't often happen where the landlord of the port, which is a GPHA, gets to summon leadership of the various port operators and stakeholders to deliberate on challenges and things like the dwindling fortunes of our industry. So once such a meeting is called, they know that it's gotten to a point where we cannot look on and behave as things are
business as usual.
It cannot be business as usual. So once we had the opportunity to sit and deliberate on the issues, then we all acknowledge that something is really not right.
Right.
If you look at the presentation of Sector Commander, Auntie Christy Odieje, she also alluded to the fact, but she said they were able to meet a bigger chunk of their target in the last quarter because they had to bring in some measures. We had to meet and strategize, get shipping lines to extend their operational times and things like that because December or the last quarter is our quote-unquote cocoa season. Is our peak season. So then we had to do something to be able to take care of it.
Right.
Otherwise, it wouldn't have been just a 1.2 billion shortfall. It would have been worse than that. And one would ask the question, if we say it's been a difficult year, we all know that close to, Ghana, we bandy a lot of figures around. But we've been told between 70 and 90% of everything that comes into this country comes from somewhere. And so if we say that the level of business has gone down or it has been a difficult year for us, would you also not think logically then that means there's some shortfall somewhere or the amount of things coming in has reduced? Everything's almost about the same. What has reduced is the number of containers coming through Tema or our legitimate ports. But aside that, we haven't heard of shortage of oil, cooking oil, rice, and the things that we heavily import. They are still here. They are in abundance. Nothing has changed. So that is one of the things we prefer to the Director General of GPHA and the all the other stakeholders, that anytime there's a decline at the port, there also happens to be an increase in smuggling.
Right.
We have a very porous, border between the north and then the south. And you can see the level of business there is gone up on the other side of the border. So that's cause for concern. Yes.
Right.
Once the revenue is gone down here, smuggling is on the increase. So government has to take a holistic look at the issues and see what we can do to make 2024 a lot better.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Ofriata. Let me come to you, Mr. Yaochi, my own offer. If you'd mind sharing with us how the freight forwarding industry has evolved. I've known you for more than 15 years. Even before then, you were in the industry before I got to know you. Yeah. When you were in 25 Anchor House, before you moved to your current location at Integral Heights, that magnificent building. I will come for an office space there. I hope
you're welcome.
I hope there's space there for me.
Yes,
yeah, just by the roadside. Absolutely, yes. It's a very, very magnificent edifice. And I'm happy it's there. Till your movement to that place now. So you've come a long way in the industry. Yeah. Seasoned is an understatement. How has the industry evolved, the freight forwarding industry? How has it evolved over the years to where you are at the moment?
Well, it has really developed, I must say. When we started the freight forwarding business, first I would like to say that most of our colleagues were those that, should I say, didn't find any job on the market in Tema to do, and they readily shifted to the freight forwarding industry. Those times, the common name was clearing agents. Yes. Most people too were also in the villages outside Tema, Accra, who couldn't find any job to do. Quickly
they find their way to Tema.
To Tema to look for a job to do. And the Tema port or the freight forwarding industry really absorbed them. As time went on, and digitalization also came up, things were quite difficult for especially those who hadn't had some education to continue doing the job.
Right.
So those times we all had our problems, and some of them dragged the name of the freight forwarding or the clearing agency into the mud. The least thing you hear, flying entries, containers are missing here and there, and a whole lot that came up. So it gave the industry quite a bad name. But I must say that for the last 10, 15 years, things have evolved. And now when you come to the freight forwarding industry, I can tell you, you can even have doctorate degree holders doing the freight forwarding, being there. Master's degree holders, a lot. First degree holders, a lot. Now, those who are coming from the senior high schools are rather having it quite tough even to enter the industry.
I know there are retired deputy commissioners and assistant commissioners of customs who are also into the industry.
Those who go on retirement or a few years to retirement, the experienced ones, all would come to join the freight forwarding industry.
Absolutely.
So they've given the freight forwarding industry quite a new look. And digitalization has also added to it.
Right.
If you can't use your phone or you can't use the internet to access some information from customs, gentlemen, you just better get out. Go back to school and learn and come back again. Now you can sit down in your house or wherever and even pay duties. Now you can sit down in your house wherever and process your documents online. Yes. Gone are the days when a lot had their documents even in the booth of their cars.
From office to office.
From office to office. Didn't even have office. And embezzlement, you find looking for them, you would never get them. Now everything has been digitalized and it's very difficult to run away. Of course, we haven't gotten to the maximum of it. But at least we've gone a very far way. Now that the economy is quite also nearing that digitalization stage, the freight forwarding industry too is also catching up. And the relationship between freight forwarders and customs too has also greatly improved. First, we were being seen from different directions and all that.
As truants and intransigent people who create confusion and chaos in the ports most of the time.
Not even customs, even the general public. giving out yourself as a member of the free flow industry was quite difficult. But now, everybody, we are all coming chest out. Yes, we are in this industry, and there's been a lot of improvement, and we are cooperating with the government. Things are not like before, even though we haven't gotten the best yet.
Yes.
But I can assure you that the freight forwarding industry now has evolved positively and doing quite far better than previously.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right. We just saw the story of the GIFF, and the election of new executives.
Yeah.
Almost all of you, QBAG, ACHAG, GIFF, and others, you go for AGMs. And that tells you how, the industry has become a serious one for people who are enlightened, people who know what they are worth, people who know what the industry is actually worth and want to take it to the next level.
Yeah,
and for me, I think that is something that we must commend, seriously, that everybody is doing their best to ensure that this industry is sustained.
Exactly. So the Registrar General demands that every business organization will have to go for, or an association like ours, will have to go for an AGM,
annual general meeting. So that's a requirement.
So in the case of ACHAG,
yes,
in February, on the 9th of February 2024, we will be having our AGM at the Alisa Hotel, Tema.
Okay, 9 February.
9 February.
So that's just around the corner.
Yes.
Okay.
We will be having our annual general meeting at Alisa Hotel.
Okay.
And we've invited a lot of dignitaries.
Right.
So we are again using this opportunity
Yes.
to invite Iron Port to be there.
We'll be there.
A lot of
We'll be
dignitaries
there.
will be coming there. We share our views,
Yes.
we make amendments to our constitution, we
Right.
do presentations, and we also have our elections.
Oh, you'll be electing new executives?
New executives.
Okay.
Hopefully that will be the last time I will be in.
Is your position up for grabs too?
Up for grabs, yes.
Oh, I see.
I've done more than enough, so I believe that.
Wow. How many times have you gone for?
This is the second time.
Second term.
Second term, yes.
Wow.
The
Okay.
second term.
Okay. And
Yes.
the limit is second 2 terms.
Yeah, 2 terms.
Just like our national
yes,
kind of
the
thing.
limit
Okay,
is
it's just
2
like
terms.
a GIFF and
2 years, 2 terms.
okay.
Yes.
2 years, 2 terms.
Yes.
Not 4 years.
So every term is 2 years.
Okay, so that's
2 terms.
4 years.
That's 4
You've done
years.
4
yes.
years. Wow.
Yes. So we invited everybody. We all should come and be with us.
It looks
and see how
unprecedented.
things
It
will
looks
go.
unprecedented to me.
Yeah.
That you founded ACHAG.
Yes, we are one of those. We are 3 of us
Yes.
founded the association.
And you've led it for 2 terms and you are giving
Yes.
it off. Somebody should step in.
Come in, yes.
Awesome. That's
And that
actually
tells you how the freight forwarding industry is growing. And there are a lot of very educated
Yes.
colleagues who all want to become the next president of association. So we've really evolved.
Awesome.
We've really evolved.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you went for QBAG went for its AGM in December.
Yeah.
That was in December 2023.
yeah.
Yes, we were there to yes. Tell us, how did it pan out? And was that where you were confirmed because you were acting president?
Yes.
You have now been confirmed.
Yes, we've now been confirmed.
Okay.
Our biggest one was our constitution.
Okay.
Like it has rightly described. The industry is evolving, and a lot of right-thinking members are now on board,
Yes.
holding administrative offices and
Yes.
things like that. So, I mean, gone were the days where QBACs particularly would not have an AGM. Those
Yes.
days are gone.
Yes, yes.
At the last AGM, before we left,
Yes.
we had agreed on where we are going for the next AGM and almost the date.
Yes.
Even though it's tentative.
Yes.
That tells you how much, people are now looking on keenly.
Yes.
But our biggest one for the AGM, the biggest takeaway was the new constitution.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a 2023 draft constitution.
Okay.
It's much more forward-looking. And just like the 1992 constitution,
Yeah.
all and sundry was brought on board to be able to make their contributions, see
Yes.
how we can review the 2016 version.
Right.
And then make it forward-looking because a lot of things has happened. We now have a training school and things like that.
Yes.
And all of them had to find way into the constitution. Ours is a unique organization. We have founders who set up, and most of them are gone. We are left with about only 2 of our founders now.
Yes.
So there are some roles that were assigned to founders and things like that. And once the constitution is a living document, things have evolved. So we have to make changes to those ones and make it abreast with more modern times. So I think, yes, the industry has changed a lot from the days of Asikuda all the way to national single window.
Absolutely.
So now.
Yes.
So the professional associations cannot, do anything else than to also evolve with the times.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know it was the inability of Quebec to organize your AGMs. That was one of the reasons why WAFA had to leave Quebec and form ACHAC.
Yeah, it was one of the reasons. That's
Yes.
rightfully.
Okay. All right. So I asked him the question about how the industry has evolved. You just mentioned Asakuda, and I know at some point the DICs came, and then, we had West Blue, and now we are having ICOMs and all that. And I just want to find out from your perspective, whether you have anything to add to what Wafachi has enumerated in terms of how the industry has evolved over the years.
Well, the industry has evolved a lot. Like you mentioned, we came in around the days of Askuda.
Yes.
I always cite the example that one of the documents that I remember, I have some in my possession.
Yes.
I fondly remember is the document that we have to type a 7-part document. Yes. And those are the days that we were using the typewriter.
Right,
And,
absolutely, yes.
It's from Ministry of Trade. Everybody had to buy some and keep it in their place.
Yes.
And then type it, and then even the way we present our documents to customs, where in a specific way, you have to arrange them, know what should be lying on top, what should be at the bottom, and things like that. Those are, somebody will say, ancient relics.
Yes.
Now that people don't really pay attention to. But it has evolved. But unfortunately, you see, with technology, one of the things that affect us is that people end up being less thorough because the computer is able to do a lot of the things that hitherto you had to do manually. So people are becoming less and less thorough. And this is the basis for which we decided to set up the Quebec Training Institute. So that, with the evolution of technology, the evolution of our industry, it's about time we do what we call CPD, continuous professional development, that will keep our people abreast. Because these days you send your boys to the field and then custom officers, I don't want to use the word, they bully them. That's the right word. And you realize that no, they are not thorough.
Astute,
They are not astute. They are not proficient.
Absolutely.
Yes, so that's the direction we think we should be going in because of the evolution.
Because technicalities between
technicalities between because things like basic customs works with regimes. There are so many other regimes, and you find your people going and the officer telling them do this and do that. When you expect the field officer to know his left from the right, and our people don't know it that much, because things like HS code.
Yes.
Back in the days, I could give you, the areas in which you operate. I could tell you, they can call me on the phone and say, there's a fasheha.
Yeah.
You mention the code.
Yeah,
this is a 10-digit code. You tell
you had it at the tips of your fingers. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Those things are going because now on the ICOMs, once you start keying the product, it will generate it. It will pop up for you. So we are losing our thoroughness. The professionalism that we used to demonstrate is going, even though more educated people are coming into the industry. Technology is doing most of the stuff for us. And so we are not as thorough as we used to be in the past. So that is our focus. That with the evolution, we should also be training our people to know their stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we don't like the situation where officers are half-baked. And then they are thrown about anyhow. And also, you realize that with the coming of AFTA, and Ghana being the head office of AFTA, we want to believe that a lot of businesses would want to relocate here or they'll pass their business through here because the free trade area. And with free trade also, there are certain skills that you need to imbibe.
All right.
And so that's the more need for training. Yeah, so that's how the industry is evolving. We've had meetings with the World Customs Organization.
WTO,
in December and October, I happened to be in a team that met them in Brussels.
Right.
And it is towards private partnership, towards training to make us,
public-private partnership.
Yeah, private partnership, so that we can build on things like rules of origin, and things like that, which will be the order of the day for we freight forwarders.
Yes, as far as AFTA is concerned.
As far as AFTA, and that's the way we are going. We cannot be left out. Yeah, because you have to be able to determine whether the product qualifies.
Yes.
And if it qualifies, what are the duty rates that apply, which one doesn't apply. Those are the skills. So as it keeps evolving, we also have to, continuously evolve. Otherwise, like technology, you'll be left behind and you realize you're irrelevant.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so let me come to Officer and find out from you. If you can walk us through some of the regulatory frameworks and industry standards that governs the practice of freight forwarding in Ghana and how that contributes to effective trade facilitation.
Well, directly we are under customs. We are being licensed by customs.
Yes.
Now, the first point of contact, if a person or someone wants to be a freight forwarder, would have to contact either a business owner or organizes a business himself.
Right.
So it has to be a registered business organization. There, you have to fill in the forms, of course, join one of the various associations, and apply formally to customs. But you want to set up a business organization, and these are what you want to do. You want to be a customs house agent. Customs would also go through and vet your expected employees, and even so, you have to go to the police headquarters to check your biometrics. That is, if you have not been a criminal within the very few years or so. Yes. Before you are cleared to become a customs house agent. Now, customs will further come and even inspect your premises. Do you have a place that you operate? If you have a place that you operate, what are some of the equipment you may need to have before you operate as a customs house agent? There are a lot of things you need to go through, and after customs is fully satisfied, before you are certified. Yes, to be a customs house agent. Before then, at least one person or one director or manager should have been certified again by customs through an examination.
Right.
So you need even to have a license yourself, customs house agents proficiency license. That you have gone through a course for about 8 weeks or so, and after the course, you were examined and certified that you had passed. Recently, customs had one of the exams was it 2 years ago or so, and a lot couldn't even make it.
They failed.
They failed, yes. So it was highly competitive, highly competitive. So those who were passed or who passed tells you that, yes, they were quite proficient with the customs processes. Procedures. So if you are given certified, at least one person should have been a certified license holder before you'll be authorized to operate as a customs house agent. Apart from this, from time to time, they also visit us and to be sure that we also keep up with the standards that have been set for us. And if any of you or the company involves in any malpractices, immediately you'll be blocked out of the system or even taken to go and face the law.
For prosecution.
So we are really being regulated by customs. And amongst ourselves too, everybody wants to enhance the dignity of the freight forwarder.
Right.
So amongst ourselves, we are even regulating ourselves. So if somebody does anything wrong, we are able to call the person's attention. The associations too are also doing very good work. They are also, when you do anything wrong, or a company does anything wrong, and you want to move away from one association to another, we have a common committee or council that we are really fighting against these things. So immediately you are blacklisted by customs, nobody will accept you again.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So in terms of regulations, yes, and Ghana Shippers Authority is also doing very well to be sure that we don't overcharge our clients and all that.
The negotiations of rates.
Exactly.
For freight forwarders,
and from time to time we have our meetings with them, and these meetings we upgrade ourselves and tell them our problems, and we are again being regulated even by the stakeholders.
Yes.
How they even deal with us and how we also deal with them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So let me come to Nana Fredo Ajumafreta and find out from you. Last year, you guys kicked against a policy that was about being introduced by government
The self-clearance system.
Yeah, which has to do with self-declaration and all that. It's been taken. Government had to back down somewhat on it. Do you have any updates on this?
Thank you once again. Self-clearance is a very, very, very touchy area. I mean, like we have all, alluded to, our industry is a very regulated one. Even the areas where we operate. I talked about going to get a security check, background check, and all of those things. The port is a security area. One of the few places where, if you remember, during COVID, we were allowed to, go like what they call the emergency services, essential services, like hospitals and the rest. Aside those ones, we freight forwarders were the only ones who were allowed to go to work. Because of the importance, of the industry. And it's a regulated area. But if you think about what self-clearing is supposed to bring, it dilutes what we have been made to believe from time memorial and what the law says. Because then anybody who has a Ghana card, any citizen, or foreigner living in Ghana who has a Ghana card, should be able to clear their own goods. And this is a very technical area.
Right.
We can just believe that our regulators are just pandering to the whims of the big boys from the Bretton Woods institutions and the rest of it. But otherwise, Ghana is not one of the countries where clearing is done by only clearing agencies. We already have a variant, which is self-declaration. Self-declarant. Where large organizations which bring in a lot of imports are allowed to create a clearing department and do their own clearing. So that opportunity already exists. The difference that they are trying to bring is where just any individual will be able to clear. We have submitted our, thoughts on those ones to government. By government, the GRA Customs Division, about the challenges that they would, encounter when this comes full-fledged. But we don't have the last update on it. Because the regulated industry, our advice and the rest of it is preferred behind closed doors. So it will be for government or customs reps to come and tell us what is the update. We have all kinds of rumors that are here, but I don't dwell on rumors, so I will leave the update to that bit of it. But it's a potential for, disaster. Yes, because, when somebody comes to clear, for instance, in our case, as freight forwarders, we are supposed to keep the documents of clearing, even after clearing, for at least 5 years. Our premises are registered and all of those things. We do an annual bond that we pay to government. All of these things are safeguards to protect government revenue. And then the situation where an importer has not paid well, or government in the future, customs determines that there's been some short collection or something didn't go right, and they will have to go back, they come back to the agency. If you open it up and you said just anybody who's in Ghana who has a card, and there are a few other regulations in addition, should be able to do the clearing. So when they clear and there's a need for what we call post-clearance audit, what would happen? These are among several other issues that we raised. Because, 5 years even after clearing, the law says, PCA can be conducted.
No, it's 6 years actually.
6 years. Look at how long it is. And somebody you don't know, don't have anything but a Ghana card, and he has all the other details, and he does a clearing, it's gone. Our biggest challenge in Ghana, the reason why we are told that banking rates and things are so high is because of a very unreliable addressing system. We've managed to go digital.
The risk,
Yes, but even the risk still persists. It's not that good. Somebody clears with a card and tosses it somewhere. It's gone. How do you follow up with that person? But in our case, the agent is held responsible for what he cleared for somebody up to 6 years, even after clearing. So when you juxtapose two things, you realize that no, it's an area they should tread cautiously. I know where that pressure is coming from, but we have a variant. We are not doing only so. The clearing agent is not the only one that can clear goods from the port. There's, self-declarant as well. So that's what I have to say on that.
I think to add to that, let's also be mindful of the fact of what is happening in our villages in regards to galamsey.
Yes.
We should be very, very, very careful. We are not being selfish.
It's become a very
but
serious,
we are just telling you that, yes, where we have our money, where the source of income,
yes,
Tema, for example, or even all the various ports,
yes,
you want to open it up to locals and foreigners,
yeah,
and you can't track them.
Yeah.
I had a letter from Customs just about 2 weeks ago, addressed to one of our members.
Yes.
And in the letter, it stated that a consignment has been cleared by a company ABC, and that the short collection involved is so much, quite huge.
Yes.
And that the agent should look out for the importer to come and pay the money.
Right.
The agent was apparently introduced to a foreigner who came to his office, gave the documents to him. They agreed, he brought his invoices, everything, and they did the processing. And after some tussle with customs, some of the values were accepted, and the goods cleared. After a year or two, customs has come back, asking the agent to come and
produce
pay
the importer
and pay the short collection. The agent went back to the person who introduced the foreigner to him,
yes,
and he said yes, he knew him, he saw him, and he went back to his
country.
The residence, here. They went there, he vacated from the place. Apparently, he's gone back to his country, or gone back to some other African country.
Yeah.
And to us, that should be the end of the story. But then, that being the end of the story means that government has lost.
Yes. Huge.
So shouldn't we be concerned about that? As Ghanaians, we should be concerned about that.
Yes.
We should be concerned about the fact that when some of these individuals come in and deal with you and go away, and you can't even trace them. You can't trace them. You think they can deal directly with the government? Even dealing with us, we couldn't even trace them.
Yes.
And you want to deal directly with them?
The government, yeah, sure. That's impossible.
No, that's quite difficult. You know these people too. Technically, they are even far, far, far ahead of us. Some of these foreigners.
Yes.
Technically, technologically, they are ahead of us.
Yes.
They can do anything from anywhere and go away with it.
Yeah.
They come to their offices and even dictate to you how much they want to pay for a container.
Yes.
They will tell you, yes, 20,000 is for 20-footer container. That's how much they want to pay.
Yeah.
And some of these things, we have to, tell them professionally that some of these things are not possible.
Foot down, yeah.
And you want to give that power to them, that they should determine how much they want to pay and go through the processes. No.
Yeah.
I think that apart from the fact that we'll be losing our jobs, we are not only just being selfish, but then I think that at times we also think about the nation a bit.
Absolutely.
We also think about how we are there, we know them, we work with them.
Yeah.
So we know what they can do, what they cannot do. Let's not dare it at all.
Right.
That we want to give these individuals the power, the opportunity to process their documents and clear the goods and go away.
Yeah. Yeah, so
let's not
like
go
you
there.
mentioned, the issue of post-clearance audit
Wouldn't
cannot
be
even
of
arise at all,
no.
because you can't
they
find
just
the
look
person.
for $1,000 and just you give me a letter. You are owing 220 million Ghana cedis. Come and pay. He will just the next available plane.
He's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah.
You go and look at Team Shanghai or wherever you go to look out for him. He may not even go back to his home country.
Yeah,
he may even go to the next country or any West African country or any
yeah.
African country. And
Go
that's the end
and do
of
the
the
same
story.
thing, yeah, sure. Go and be doing the same, because they know the system and how we operate in Africa.
They know.
Yeah.
At times when they come here, even you'll be marveled the HS code, how they even tell a lot of things about the HS code. They might have learnt it very well even before coming to you.
Yeah.
They know what they are about. So let's not dare do that at all. At all.
I hope government is listening and they will do the needful. So, are there any emerging threats to the freight forwarding industry that you'd want to share with us?
Oh, I mean,
I know this self-declaration is one of them. I mean, yes.
Yes, but like we have said severally, our industry is a regulated one.
Yes.
And so if it's a regulated industry, we go by a lot of regulations. In fact, our business is under Act 891.
Yes.
Yes, that's the Customs Act. And freight forwarding, Custom House Agency is a reserve area for indigents. So it's an area where foreigners are not allowed to participate. But, I mean, it's common knowledge that the industry is replete with foreigners.
Yes.
I mean, I've had people telling me that there are even Chinese people at our port who are walking around with Ghanaians and they are going through clearing. And if there's any such thing, of course, it's not for me to say. Custom officers are the ones who are in charge of the ports. Yes, and it's there. Government has to really find a way to sanitize this industry. Shippers Authority, which is the main one that links between us and then shippers. I think their legislation needs to go back to Parliament, essentially, because the LI 2190 is a weak legislation, and that's all we have. They are not able to regulate, I mean, the players in the industry.
The Shippers Authority.
Shippers Authority, the 2190.
Okay.
We've been told severally that is going. We've made representations in meetings with the Transport Minister, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, I mean, and all the regulators that we work with. Why of the need to go and strengthen that legislation? Because
which areas exactly do you want them to be fixated at?
Oh, you know, we are supposed to sit with the Shippers Authority to negotiate
your freight rates. You do that?
Freight rates. Yes, even though we are private citizens, we are supposed to, subject ourselves to such negotiation. And we are not the only ones. Shipping lines are also there. I mean, those other players that are supposed to come, including the GPHA, the Port Authority itself, they are all supposed to submit whatever they intend bringing, new rates, upward adjustments for negotiation. And it so happens that it looks like it's only the freight forwarders that subject ourselves to these. All other ones, I mean, sometimes they just write and notify the Shippers Authority, and boom, they are out there. And you see, because a lot of the things that we have in this country comes from somewhere. If we allow this regulated industry to be, these regulations to be flouted by some of the players, it leads to increased cost. So, for instance, things like, exchange rates, because it comes from somewhere, it's always in a foreign currency. Things like exchange rates and things like that, the shipping lines charge exchange rates that are way over and above the nominal rates of the Bank of Ghana and the rates which are published for us every Tuesday. Their rates are way above that. And for a private person who is importing to obviously come and sell, like say somebody in the Guta or the rest, it becomes, and the rates are astronomical, it doesn't have a choice. Because at the point, the shipment might have come to Ghana already. So they cannot change the shipping line. They are forced to pay. But you know what? They will pass on, whatever additional charges come onto the market. This is why prices keep, moving up. It's not helping our inflation. So it's about time government finds a way. We met at the presidential summit, and then the governor of the Bank of Ghana says, well, these are private companies. They don't regulate them. And that their rates that they publish are just nominal. When you hear such things, you realize you're on your own. And we are told that, these are private businesses in competition. So you have to look at what rates they are charging and decide where you want to take your business. Saying, unfortunately for you, if you are shipping your goods from somewhere else, at the port of loading, you don't get the benefit of what the rates will be in Ghana. And in a country where the exchange rates keep changing, how else would you know that at the point of shipping my goods in America or wherever it is, and if the shipping rates they are charging at Mex line, Advisor, or any of them, P&L or any of the shipping lines, One Ocean, is X. What is the guarantee that by the time the vessel gets to Ghana and I'm clearing, it will still be at the same rate? There's no such thing. So there needs to be some form of, legislation to guide us. There should be a range that says that in the port area, these are the margins. We cannot say everybody should go by this, but there should be a certain margin that you cannot quote your rates beyond. Yes, because our industry thrives on predictability, essentially. So by the time you are organizing yourself to ship the stuff, you have a fair idea what it will cost you to do the clearing and take delivery of your goods. But if these things are left to be on their own, then, that's why our markets are that volatile, because the rates will keep changing. Ghana has been cited as being one of the most expensive ports, especially even in this our sub-region. And that accounts for the high incidence of smuggling. Because, clearing from the ports becomes so expensive.
Is that really the case?
It is the case because, if you're a shipping line can choose whatever exchange rate they want to charge. with nobody in a regulated industry, and nobody can tell them, listen, you are going way above what is on the markets or in the banks. Then where are we? It is not the case in other jurisdictions, and we are well aware. So it's left for the authorities to say that, well, look, there needs to be a supervisor or a supervisory body or a regulator that looks at all of these things in the port. Because GPHA is supposed to be the landlord, a regulator, but it's also a player. They are also charging, so they cannot be setting rates and supervising things. So we need somebody high up there. I mean, if from the presidency or an authority that looks at everybody in the port, that says, I mean, this is the way it's supposed to go. Otherwise, I mean, things will just go end to end. These are one of the threats. Another one is I don't know if I'm to continue.
You just some 30 seconds and then we'll pause for a break.
Vertical integration. I mean, shipping lines, the same ones. There's something they call end-to-end. So in vertical integration, maybe the manufacturer or the shipper wants to take charge of all the other facets of the supply chain. So instead of the shipping line just being a carrier, where you bring your stuff to the ship, I mean, they put it in a container and delivers to the port, of destination. Now they want to actually behave like the 3PLs. They want to pick the goods from wherever they bring your container, even at the farm gate, load your stuff, get it on board the vessel, bring it to the port of discharge, clears them for you, and send them to your destination. It's an existential threat. This so-called end-to-end of vertical integration is an existential threat. And an industry that employs thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. If government will sit aloof and let this thing just go that way, I mean, it doesn't bode well for anybody. So there needs to be, even though it's a regulated industry, certain aspects have been left to just go anyway. And those are the things that government needs to sit, with the players. And then take a holistic look at these things and make it work for us all. Because whatever it is, whichever cost an importer incurs, it will be passed on.
To the final consumer. And so we all end up suffering. All right, Nana Fredo Ajumayo Foriata is the president of the Customs Brokers Association of Ghana. And together in the studios with Mr. Yauche, who is the president of the Association of Customs House Agents, ACHAG, Ghana. We're going for a quick break. Tonight, we're taking a look at the role of the freight forwarder in contributing to effective trade facilitation in our country. And so these are the two gentlemen we're having a discussion with. We are going for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue the discussion. Please do stay with us.
Guys, now I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really? Okay, I come.
Shut up!
Mame, feel me talking about what? Boss, fill my tank with Super XP Ron 95.
Fill up with Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goyle.
Sorry, Tony got here first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him. Hey, go for mommy.
Choose Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Goyle, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse, and my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Currently, my goods are on the high seas, covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects, and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302 246 319 or 0243 690 492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
All right, so welcome back. This is Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television, and tonight we are taking a look at the role of freight forwarders in effective trade facilitation. What are they supposed to do? And we have in the studios Mr. Yauche, who is the president of the Association of Customs House Agents Ghana, and also Mr. Nana Fredria Ajimai-Ofriata, who is also the president of the Customs Brokers Association of Ghana, Cuba. They are the two gentlemen we're having a discussion with tonight, and I've been told by the production team that we can activate the phone lines for you to call in and contribute to the discussion. The number to dial is right on your screen, 020-552-8353, 020-552-8353. You can call in and contribute to the discussion. So, Wafa, he was on this vertical integration thing by the shipping lines. I don't know whether it's something you have experienced or something you are compelled to work with, and how it is impacting your operation as a freight forwarder.
Yeah, the shipping lines are picking up all the big jobs. Coupled with the fact that some of the shipping lines from country A, all shipments from country A,
yes,
in a way goes through the shipping line. When it gets to Tema here, they have a very funny way of registering a local company, either with the participation of a local person,
yes,
or all being local persons.
Yes.
Then they will continue the processing in their name.
Right.
So
in
just
the
like
local person's name.
Yes.
Okay.
So just like I told you about the freight forwarder,
yes,
who picks it up from point A and ends up point Z.
Yes.
The customs house agent comes at the end of the freight forwarder's activities.
Right.
So when it gets there, that customs house agent will have to pick it up because of the duties and others involved. Just like my colleague said, that area will have to be licensed by GIR or by government before you can continue.
Right.
As for freight forwarding, you can pick it up from the warehouse and bring it to Tema Port. But to move from Tema Port to the local warehouse, you need to be licensed.
Right.
And they find a funny way of licensing a company to continue that job.
Right.
So, but technically, the job is being done by the shipping line.
Yeah.
So, customs house agents, local employees, we are taking out. The monies, everything is taken back to it's
repatriated, yes.
Yes, repatriated.
Yes.
So that is one of the areas we've been asking the government to open its eyes and look at them and stop them. We've been asking the Ghana Shippers Authority also to stop them. We all know them.
Yes.
But then it's become quite a difficult area.
Do they look untouchable?
Untouchable, yes and no. Yes. On paper, they are not untouchable. But then, in practice, they do whatever they want to. Yeah, they go ahead and do it. They go ahead and do it. So I think that we should be able to touch them.
Right. Right.
Coupled with the fact that they raise their tariffs to as and when. Recently, I think I even saw one of the, is it Costco or so? They've just raised their tariffs. Just again.
Yeah.
Nobody stops them.
Yes.
And there are a lot of charges on their invoices. So doing business at the ports, which is incidentally our theme for our AGM on the 9th of February 2024, doing business at the ports in the face of current economic challenges.
Okay.
This is one source, area we need to look at.
To address.
Yes. A 40-footer container costs the client as much as 11 to 12,000 Ghana cedis. And all sorts of itemized things there for you to pay. So I think that as freight forwarders, we need to also be backed by the government to protect our interests and protect the fact that we also employ a lot of people in Tema here. Yes.
Okay, so let's take a look at your collaboration with stakeholders. You cannot be, an island unto yourselves. You work with other, stakeholders.
Right.
And can you tell us how your relationship with these stakeholders has been since, over the past years?
Okay, if you say stakeholders, we have internal stakeholders and then the
external stakeholders.
Which stakeholders? I mean, you mean the regulators?
We have customs. We know that in your line of business, you have to deal with the FDA, the GSA, and all those other, stakeholders and all that.
Those are external stakeholders.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So, incidentally, they regulate our industry, various aspects, and we call them MDAs.
Right.
Yeah, ministries,
departments, and agencies.
Yeah. In the last 5 years or so, most of these regulators or agencies that we work with have all, transformed into authorities.
Yes.
So we have Ghana Standards Board, GSB, which is now Standards Authority.
Yeah.
But Shippers Council is Shippers Authority.
Yes.
FDA, Food
and Drugs Authority.
They've all become authorities.
Yes.
And I'm inclined to believe that that authority gives them some
muscle to bite.
Some muscle to bite.
Yes.
And they're almost autonomous, even though they work under specific ministries.
Yeah.
But they now, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, they're now focusing more on how they can generate income.
Okay. Rather than facilitate trade?
Out of government subvention. That is the drive, more like.
Okay.
I would have thought authorities should give them power to be able to take bold, initiatives. But that power is more towards they being able to, introduce charges. All they have to do is to take it through Parliament or, their ministry to Parliament, and then they are there. So they are also one of the, sources of increased cost at the port. Ghana Standards Authority, this year, from this January, they have been announcing something that they intend to bring on board. And very soon, it will be making the waves because it would radically change, the cost of shipping in Ghana. Because importers who bring certain things have to do some registrations and things like that. Hitherto, those regulators are more towards protecting us. But the activities are more now commercial. So instead of, for instance, a certain regulator like the FDA or Standards Authority regulating you based on what you're bringing per year or licensing and registering you to do for a year or on a container, now they go by weight categories. So, for instance, what would it would have costed you to clear maybe a container full of diapers or something like that? It's going to cost you much more because now they are looking at volumes to to peg their charges and rates.
Right.
Which should not be the case. They are not commercial entities.
Yes.
They are regulators. They should focus more on regulating the industry and making sure the right things come in. Standards Authority making sure substandard stuff are not getting to the country. But they are focusing more on revenue generation, IGF.
So it means there's no balance between trade facilitation and revenue mobilization.
There's no real balance.
These agencies.
There's no real balance, seriously. And all of these things hinder trade facilitation.
Right.
Like we've said before, Ghana Customs, or our customs, authority, unlike the other customs we know, especially in the advanced countries, they are more towards making sure the right things are coming in. Stopping substandard stuff, more on checking anything, that is tourism-related, contraband, and things like that. But our customs' major focus is revenue, meeting targets. Now it looks like all the other regulatory agencies are also looking at how they can increase their toll.
The IGF,
because the port is the place we can call low-hanging fruits. That's where all these authorities can make some money, quick and good money. So they are focused more on IGF. And this affects, the cost of doing business. We are all shouting around that, look, our port is becoming increasingly expensive. And yet the new, rates that have been approved by Parliament doesn't go to ameliorate these things. It rather is going to exacerbate them. I've cited the Shippers Authority, but there are a few other ones. If even, places like Veterinary Authority, all of those places, their focus hitherto was on how to regulate their core area to make sure that the things are supposed to be the way they are. But now they are charging you based on the volumes that you are bringing. And that didn't used to be the case. So I don't know, but I think the challenge is engagement.
Yes.
I think Parliament, Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism should be more, should be speaking more with the practitioners, like the associations in this industry, so that before the approval of certain, rates that have been brought to them, they should get our buy-in, or at least let us, speak to the issues and see how it affects the general. Because in the final analysis, all these things go to increase the cost of doing business. And it's a problem because we're all saying things are high, but we are not doing anything to stabilize it or to even, reverse the trend.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go onto the phone lines and welcome Peter, who is calling us all the way from Tamale. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, boss.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, Peter.
I'm calling from Tamale.
Yes.
Yes, I like the program that you are discussing this evening.
Thank you, sir.
And then when you look at what you are discussing, we are the consumers. And when you look at tactically, you see that when they bring that thing, they like to increase the product more than amount that they are buying it. Example, like I have experiences in lab equipment. I wanted to set up a lab, and I requested for estimate of those equipment.
Right.
The amount that they were giving me, it was higher than the amount that I've used to import it myself. It was almost twice of amount that I've used to import.
Okay, the duty was much higher than the amount you purchased the laptop,
the amount that I was
equipment.
buying it in Ghanaian market was twice of amount that I'm using to import it myself.
Right. Okay.
No, in Ghanaian market.
Peter, you have to lower your volume, the volume on your TV. I think you are listening to yourself, so we're not getting you. There's the echo, the feedback that we're having here. So if you can lower the volume on your TV set and then conclude your submission.
So our business people are trying to, loot with the consumers. Because I've used almost 9,000 Ghana cedis to 11,000 to import the equipment that I wanted. But what I asked the market, in Ghanaian market, they were telling me 28,000, which I could use 11,000 to import it. Is it not better I import it myself than to go to the Ghanaian market to buy it.
Right.
Yeah, you don't use one day to get whatever you want. So those who are the duties that they are giving to them, they're also looking at the amount that they are selling it in the market as a retail price is to run.
Yeah.
So they should rather work on their side than talking about the duties that they are doing to them. If they are able to reduce, and Ghanaian market is such a way that even if they bring something today and the price has to reduce, it's difficult for them to reduce the prices for us.
Right. Right.
So clearly, all of us are having difficulties in patronizing things.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you see that those who are importing it will get advantage to get it international, to import it yourself, than to buy it in Ghanaian market.
Perfectly made. Your point is well made, Peter. Thank you very much indeed. And our regards to the folks in Tamale. We're grateful to you. You can also call the number to dial is right on your screen, 020-552-8353. You can call in and let's see what you have for us on Iron Port tonight. So let me come to Mr. Yaoche and find out from you if there are any notable success stories in your industry that you perhaps want to share with us.
Notable success stories in the industry of freight forwarding.
Yeah.
There are lots.
Okay.
There are lots. As I was earlier on telling you, we have moved from the level of, should I say, lowly graded business to quite highly and competitive business.
Yes.
Now we have a lot of businesses in Tema.
Right.
If you don't do your things right, you will kick out.
Absolutely.
Yes, you'll be kicked out.
Yeah.
So this time, it's highly competitive, in terms of the personnel,
right,
in terms of equipment, in terms of the system we are operating now.
Yes.
The ICOMS is quite very challenging and very efficient way of doing business. So in itself, ICOMS in itself has really upgraded our personnel and the type of business we are doing.
Yes.
So if you can't cope with it, you will rather fall out. So in terms of that, we are doing very well.
Right.
I don't have the figures, but I think that more practices at the port too also has gone down.
Right.
Well, to say that it's gone out 100% out, no, I wouldn't be fair saying that. There are still some challenges we need to close them up.
Yeah.
But then at the moment, as compared to on comparative basis, about 10, 20 years ago, it's now far better. Even though I think that we still have to do much more than we are doing.
You are doing now.
Yes. So I think that the industry has really been enhanced. Yes. It has shown some successes. And by that, if we keep it up and keep on doing the good things that we're supposed to do, with the cooperation of customs and some intelligence from the other security agencies, I'm sure we'll be able to increase our targets and sanitize the system.
Absolutely. All right. So just a quick one, 30 seconds. What does 2024 look like?
2024, I'm quite optimistic. I've seen the inflation rate coming down as low as almost the early 20s, 23 point something, which is quite good. I've seen that the USD or the foreign currencies are quite stabilizing, which is also quite good. And I've spoken to a lot of clients, and they are quite hopeful that by the middle of this year, things will definitely stabilize, and we will start seeing the number of containers coming through the system. So I'm very hopeful that things will get on better. So those who have laid off their staff, please get ready.
We are
going to do business, in 2024. We also have the hope, especially when IMF is also coming on board, also approving some of the loans that we asked for and all that. I think that 2024, we will do much more business than 2023.
Amen. Mr. Nana Ofriata, tell us, what does 2024 look like? Just in 30 seconds.
I've said before, freight forwarding or freight forwarders, the nature of our business, we become like a barometer of the level of doing business in our country.
Right.
So I'm happy Ofaya is optimistic.
Yes.
But the optimism must be based on something. We are hoping, we've looked at the various outlooks from the various, research organizations in our industry.
Yes.
And the largest we've seen is a year-on-year growth rate of up to 5%. And that's globally.
Right.
When it comes to us, if even there will be growth, we don't see that growth directly affecting our industry.
Right.
Why? Because the duty rates have not gone down. And the cost of, doing business, that is the charges from the MDAs, are also on the increase.
Right.
Like I just cited the one that we spoke about before you switch to over here. Shippers, Ghana Standards Authority, either to charging per importer. Now we have a letter from them that says registration of importers per product group. So it's per product.
Yes.
All of these things are increasing the cost.
of
And so
business.
smuggling will go up and up. So
Right.
I'm not too optimistic.
Okay.
We only want to believe government will do something about that
Things,
for us
things,
to
will,
get better.
things will be fine in
Thank you.
2024. We are hopeful. So that's how we draw the curtain on tonight's edition of Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. We've been doing the discussion with Mr. Yauche, who is the president of the Association of Customs House Agents Ghana, ACHAG, and then Nana Fredria Ajman Ofriata, who's also the president of the Customs Brokers Association of Ghana. We've been taking a look at the role of freight forwarders in ensuring effective trade facilitation in our country. You've heard them and what their projections for the year 2024 is. We'll say a big thanks to our sponsors, Ghana Revenue Authority, GWEL PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, and indeed Phoenix Insurance. Remember, the show is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. We entreat you to watch it abridged version on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. on Ghana Television. God willing, next week, Sunday, we shall bounce back with another wonderful edition of Iron Port. My name is Kennedy Mona. Many thanks for choosing us. Keep watching the rest of our programs here, and we'll see you next week. Have a super week ahead, and thanks.